It's interesting. I think the fact is I'm glad we're calling it green buildings, because sometimes we end up calling it sustainability, which is sort of this technical term, when in reality green really means that we're returning to sort of the biological essence of what we have to do. And green building really means stopping or trying to use less brute force in our built environment. And I think if we go back 100 years, we have a lot to learn from. High buildings, natural ventilation, a lot of articulation in the product so we could have natural ventilation and everybody had a window. And in the terms of efficiency in the real estate market and as a builder, we got into some really bad habits. And I think if we could actually understand that we are in cooperation with Mother Nature and that we need to do the best we can at the buildings because they're around for a very long time. And in reality, unless there's major work, they don't get any better. So we're really leaving a legacy that isn't easily replaceable, and it's natural resources, and we need to do the best we can the first time. Very, very fortunate, the California Academy of Science in Golden Gate Park, which is of course a LEED Platinum project by Renzo Piano, a globally famous architect who is a public building where it's not locked up in some corporate safe, but it's physically out there to be seen by the public. We've also had an opportunity to do multi-family residential projects that started out with no sustainability and ended up being gold. Not only because the architects and the owners and the engineers wanted to, but the people moving in the building wanted to. I think it's really important that people recognize it's not somebody else's job. It's not some project on a hill that's untouchable in the fact that it starts, whether it's a residential home, whether it's a high-rise residential project, or a one-of-a-kind California Academy of Science. Those are all attainable and they all deserve our full attention. That many people recognize that LEED is certainly above the traditional code in terms of performance. But there are still clients out there who recognize they can also help set the standard for the next LEED set of criteria. And we have clients who would call Platinum Plus, and I think they recognize that it's extremely important to set the stage for the next group of buildings, because LEED is an evolving standard as opposed to a static one, and that it basically recognizes you can only get better. Well, when you start back at 2002, we had one, and it's your traditional hockey stick of growth. In 2007, it was 80% of our revenue. In 2009, it'll be over 90% of our revenue, and that's only because those projects that weren't on the LEED list didn't exist at that point. So we fully imagine that there won't be any new contracts in 2009, and fully in 2010, 100% of our projects will in some way subscribe to a LEED standard, and it will probably be all silver, gold, and platinum. Okay. I think one of the things that we've looked at when we look at the total building envelope in terms of the performance of the building is that the envelope itself, that skin that sits on the skeletal part of the building, the steel and the concrete, is just like your body. It's really what regulates your temperature. What's in, what's out, how healthy are you really starts at your skin. And the greatest performance opportunity in the buildings we have today is in the building envelope, the R value. The fact that you need to be able to tune that building for its surroundings. You need to be able to respond to the sun and the temperature on the outside and take what was a very static piece of melted silicon sand and turn it into a living, breathing part of the building, just like your skin is. It really harks to the term biomimicry, where we're physically having the envelope, the skin, the glass, respond to the needs of the external elements and the internal elements. I can't think of one element on new projects or existing projects that's more essential than improving the glass and the glazing we put on our projects. Sirius Materials has a tendency to be seen of as a materials company. And I think that's fair. That's the external face that they put before the public. And that's essential. If you don't have the right science and the right production. It's also a group of people who underlying have the tendencies to recognize they're more to be than just another product manufacturer. That they understand that their corporate culture, that they're here to make a profit and to provide benefits for other people, but that they're looking at their own internal business practices, they're trying to be transparent, they're trying to be examples for other new and upcoming companies that potentially can learn, and I think that's a crucial element in the process. Too often these things are held as corporate secrets, which is wonderful from a patent protection process, but the business practices, how you get to your individual product, is in my mind tells the true character of the people, and that's why we associate with Sirius Materials.